What is happening, Steeler Nation? What's happening, Steeler family? What's good? What's good? What's good? Oh, I appreciate that. McDam says, my dog Sim, appreciate that. I'm your dog. I appreciate that, man. What's happening, folks? Waiting for my good brother Kenyan to get on, but I didn't want to keep you guys waiting. I apologize for being a tad bit late, but that's how I'm going to start doing it, man. I'm going to just jump right in. Let me check my vocals, guys. Give me a second to check my vocals. I can hear myself back if I hit this button here. Okay. Sounding good. What's happening, Steeler Nation? How you guys feeling after last night? We gonna get into it. Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, which is short for SimFootballCritic, live from the Steel Basement. And pretty soon, hopefully by the next week, I'll be coming to you guys from a different perspective in terms of how you see me in the camera. I will more than likely be sitting back there, give a different perspective. And you guys can let me know how y'all feel about that. We'll do a show or two like that while I'm sitting back there on my little couch here in my office and kind of sitting back and talking to you guys very relaxed. I always like to try things out and see how you guys like certain things. So I'm just giving y'all a heads up. We'll try that out, see how you guys feel about that view. If you don't like it, I'll come right back and get back up in your faces like this. But anyway, welcome, guys. Let's say hello to the early commenters. And a good brother Kenyan should be on here in a moment. Let me just check my text, make sure he hasn't had any issues. Okay, he says it's coming in a second. Cool. I'm trying to get him on through Blog Talk Radio so he can hear your phone calls. Hopefully that will work. It looks like it is not working for him. I don't know why it doesn't. Oops, as you guys just saw Blog Talk right there, I got to remember to stop switching the profile. So hold on, give me a second. Let me move Blog Talk into its own tab. Therefore, I don't keep changing the tab where my face is. Got a whole lot of stuff going on tonight, man. I'm using StreamYard, funneling it through OBS. So I could bring you guys the best experience possible with seeing me and myself and Kenyan side by side. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's say hello to our early commenters. I've been rambling. I know, my bad, but I didn't get enough time to chill with y'all last night. Actually, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I kind of like that short format of the post game. I kind of liked it. When I did it in like 13 minutes, I kind of liked it. I felt like I got to a whole lot of stuff in and out, and it felt like a knee-jerk reaction versus the long, drawn-out 30, 40-minute show. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I kind of liked it. So, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, let's say what's up to Rajon39, Vistalite, Mark Cunningham, Spencer, Jordan Shields, Rel Fax, Light Skin Jesus. That name gets me every time. Hello, Destiny. Hello, Miss Destiny, Miss Lady. And again, y'all know the stigma. I know with the miss and all that. And it's funny because Destiny, I could tell just by looking at her. She's younger than me, and I'm calling her Miss. But it's a respect thing. But hello, Destiny. Hello, Lanisha. Our lovely ladies of the chat. Make sure y'all say hello to the ladies. Take care of them, fellas. Y'all know I don't play them games. Take care of our wonderful ladies. Make them feel like family and welcome them with open arms. Amon Bozeman, Brent Fox, Smitty. I'm just gonna say Balboa because I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce the first part of that right. Dr. Trey 88, Leonard Dodd, Knight Rider. What's up, Knight Rider? Haven't seen you in a while. Nobe in the building. Sport 8. Fire Canada. Don't worry, we getting to it. Who else we got up in here? Luis D, CT Pittman. Abdul Aziz. Am I saying that correctly? Hopefully I am. Who else? Steelers cards. McDam is in the building. Mr. Winningham. Somebody call me Sim Electronica. Okay. That's a new one. Let me tell y'all, man. People have told me I look like so many people. I don't know who I look like now. I don't think I've ever heard the J Electronica one. So, okay, I'll take it. You know, y'all have given me Jay Electronica now. I've gotten 50 Cent. I've gotten Joe Green. I mean, guys, I could name 12 or so people that people say I look like. Okay, I'll take it. I mean, I guess. Let's see who else we got in the building. Eric Walker, Why Diggy, what up, man? Up, and it just skipped on me, so we moving further down. Father-in-law in the building. Patrick Harvey. C. Antoine Hill, David Jones Jr. All right, we'll leave it right there. And hold on. Let's see. Oh, Kenyan is in the building. Kenyan is in the building. Hold on, hold on, hold on. There he is. Hold on, let me get him. Hold on, hold on. Give me a second. All right, there he is, guys. Kenyan is in the building.
Hold him. Hey.
My man Kenyan in the building. Actually, man, let me turn down. I got this music in my ear, and I don't want it to be too loud for y'all. Let me switch over to their side. No, it ain't too loud, but I'll take it down just a touch. All right, guys, so now we are cooking with gas. I got my partner in crime in the building, man. It's crazy. Again, y'all know we Aries brothers. It was almost like it was meant for us to come across each other's path. It's my man's right here. We gonna talk about it. Listen, Kenyan, I think the way I'm gonna go with it, because it's so much. I think what I'm gonna do, if Kenyan spares me the time, I'm gonna just give y'all a few pieces of the things I was noting last night, and then we'll kind of chop those things up. So I'm gonna take about 5 or 10 minutes or so just to kind of give Kenyan an idea of what I'm going to get into, and then we'll chop it all up, and maybe be faster than that. But I thought about it today. It'll take us extremely too long to go through everything, and nah, we ain't gonna do that. We'll just kind of high level it, and then we'll dive in on the stuff that we want to talk about ourselves, and then I'll take a few calls, and hopefully we can get Kenyan in there so he can hear the calls. But if not, we'll still just take them, and I can relay it to Kenyan, and that's how it will work. We got a donation, so we got to give a round of applause really quick to Luis D. Thank you, brother. Interesting one. He says, these past 2 games, Levi Wallace has made Artie Burns look like an all-time Steeler at cornerback. Time for Joey Porter Jr. to start along with Jones over Chooks. I'll make a quick comment on that and say this. Not quite yet. Not Artie Burns. One thing I will give Levi Wallace is a lot of times he seems to be in position. He just doesn't make the play. And then he's missing tackles. Well, y'all know with Artie Burns, homeboy was just, yeah. And I know, Luis, you probably, I know you're adding a little sauce to that, but. And then as far as Chooks, man, I'm sure me and Kenyan will talk about that. So let's make sure we remember that one. I don't know. I feel like, here's a question to tuck in your back pocket, Kenyan. Let's make sure we don't forget it. If that was a move, would it be moving Dan Moore to right tackle and giving Broderick Jones a look at left tackle, or would it be more advantageous to let Jones get his feet wet at right tackle while Dan Moore is already manning left tackle? So that's a good conversation I want to get into. And I'm not going to forget that one. So actually, let me run through my stuff really quick, and maybe me and Kenyan hit that first. But here's basically the things that I highlighted last night, man. I'm going to be quick. Penalties. Look at that. Speak of the devil, as they say. Chooks. He had 2 of them. 2 false starts in key situations. The first one was on a 3rd and 13, which made it 3rd and longer. Pittsburgh Steelers offense hasn't been great in those situations. So what would you expect to happen in that scenario? Patrick Peterson was called for pass interference on a 3rd and 4, but it was a good catch by the wideout anyway. Like I said last night, it seems like Pat Pete and Levi Wallace, man, they're not really combating the combative catch, the combat catch. They're not really winning that battle whatsoever. Chooks gets another false start late in the first quarter. Patrick Peterson is offsides on the. I mean, he was so clearly offsides. It was hilarious because you actually heard him say something, and then he just stood there for a second. But come on, man. If I'm not mistaken, didn't he have something like that in the first game? I don't know if it was him, but I think it was a Landon Roberts on like a punt. What's up with that, man? The special teams, offsides, and false starts. Come on, guys. Connor Hayward, illegal formation on a punt late in the second quarter. And then Chandon Sullivan was called for a face mask at the end of the second on a 3rd and 2. And it might have been more penalties than that. It's just, I may have lost track. Couple injuries I just notated. Gunnar O goes down in the first. And I'll share with you guys what Kenyan said. Kenyan said he was faking it because he knew he made a mistake. It's classic. And you do something stupid or you fumble or whatever, you try to act hurt. But we're going to get into Gunnar too.
Actually, Tony said that.
Oh, Tony said it. Okay, my bad.
Tony
I knew
it
was one of y'all.
Laughing. Me and you were laughing. Take back laughing. Like,
oh, man.
Yeah. Tony said that. Tony has no love at all. You don't either. I mean, if y'all can just see the text,
Gunnar O, man.
Sims, his whole demeanor during the game was hilarious. I couldn't laugh, but it was just funny to see him text back because he's always calm. But yesterday, there was no calm in him. He was like out on everybody. But we'll get into that. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, I was going in, man. This is going to be fun. Y'all to get to hear our conversation, man, in real time. Let's see. What else did we have here? I'm trying to be quick, guys. Minka went down early in the second. Minka eventually went down again. We now know, if you listen to Tomlin's conference, he was in the trainer room today. Something regarding his chest. It was more precautionary. So hopefully he's okay because we can't afford a guy like Minka going out. However, KZ and Neal didn't do too bad filling in with the two of them, but we need Minka out there. Also, Kenny Pickett went down in the second, but apparently he's okay. We all saw him return in the game, so those are a couple things I noted. First drive, y'all know I always do that. Pickett to Robinson on a sprint out, 7 yards, and I perked up a little bit. Okay, get the pocket moving. Quick 7 yards. I'm thinking, all right, the Steelers, that's a nice gain on first down. But then, of course, right after that, Kenny Pickett throws the ball behind Robinson on a 2nd and 3. And then, guess what else he does? Kenny Pickett throws an interception on 3rd down to a guy that me and Kenyan both loved coming out of college, Grant Delpit. Horrible decision by Kenny. We're going to talk about that too. So I'm just letting y'all know where we're going. We're going to talk those two guys we mentioned earlier, Kenny Pickett, Matt Canada, and I'm sure we're going to talk about the run defense, and that's going to be the bulk of where we're going with it. Defensive series. Steelers get a pick 6 right off the bat. And, of course, that was the first series of the game, but the way I wrote it was, it's backwards, but beautiful. Minka should have had that one, but, guy hit him and it popped back out. And Highsmith caught it, and he housed it. And at this point, I'm like, again, this is the high that I had. First play of the game, we get a pick 6. And then we come out, we move the pocket, sprint out, quick 7 yards. I'm like, I'm sitting up like this, like, okay. If the Steelers mess around, go down there and get some points. Thought we was going to have quite a night, but we all know how it turned out. Quick key moments. Joey Porter Jr. gets a nice PBU on a 3rd and 8 to stop the Browns' drive, force the field goal. It was then 7-3. I notated this, guys. Remember I said this last week. Guess who was blitzing on that play? This is early in the game. You guessed it. Minka Fitzpatrick. I don't know why we keep taking this dude out of coverage. I don't get it. Round of applause to Sport 8. Appreciate the donation. He says, fire Canada or bench Kenny. Something got to give. Listen, man, we're going to talk about it, but I'm going to just preliminarily say Kenny's not getting benched. Y'all got to read the tea leaves, man. I mean, Kenny will have to have, what you think, Kenyan, what is it, 18 weeks now? Kenny got to be playing like this through like week 13, 14, I think, before he's benched, if he's benched. We'll explain why. Don't worry. All right, let me hurry up, man, because I want to get Kenyan in here. I don't like doing all the talking. I just trying to let y'all know what I wanted to tell y'all last night. Gunner, I ain't even gonna say it because we gonna talk about him. But he did something extremely stupid, something I don't think I've ever seen done.
Oh, I saw it. I've seen it before. It happened last year in the bowl game, USC.
My man toe tapped.
The same exact thing.
Oh my God. He toe tapped a ball that was going out of whatever. Pickett throws a pick. I wrote that. Y'all already know about that. Booming kicks, man. Hey, congratulations, Presley Harvin. You woke up. You did your thing last night. Some great punts. Quick takeaways, and then we get into Kenyan. Steelers defense stinks against the run. They do. That's how I feel today. That's how I felt last week. And I thought maybe because it was, McCaffrey. Uh-oh, wait a minute. What happened? Oh, my camera went out. What is going on, guys? I don't know why this thing be doing this, man. So I may not have a camera for a moment, guys. Hold on. See if I can get it to come back. Let's see. Nope. It's saying battery is exhausted. Weird. All right, so I'm gonna leave it off for a while, and then I'll come back. I'll let it charge. So, where was I at? Run defense stinks. Listen, I felt that way against McCaffrey, and of course, Mr. Chubb coming in there. He showed us early what he was about to do. And then, oh my God, man, the backside pursuit on the cutback. Excellent play by Jerome Ford, man. Give him credit. Minka saved that touchdown, but it was for naught. But yeah, our run defense got to do something, man. It's really killing me right now. Steelers unable to run the football. Can't stop the run and can't run the football. A lot of missed tackles out there. There was a drop by Naji Harris on the 2nd and 10. You know what? Let me get into Naji right now really quick, Kenyan, in case we don't get to him.
Okay.
And please feel free to give your opinion back.
Yep.
I'm going to say something about Naji Harris, and I want to know how many of you guys agree. I like the 1-2 punch. I really do. I like what the 1-2 punch can be. But some of this is not necessarily on Naji. Now, I'll get into it when we talk about Canada, the way he's utilizing him in terms of the type of runs he tries to get off with Naji. But my critique for Naji Harris in open field, Naji don't get me out of my seat. I might even be as, y'all gonna say this might be a reach, but listen to what I'm about to say. Naji almost reminds me a little bit of a, remember what we used to say about Jesse James? I think it was Jesse James. It was one of them tight ends. One of them tight ends we had in recent years. It wasn't McDonald. It must have been Jesse James. Remember how they used to just catch the ball and they wouldn't go anywhere from there? I mean, they would literally catch it for a yard or two, and that was it.
That was Jesse James.
That was Jesse James. Naji is kind of reminding me of that, man, in open field. When it's him one-on-one, whether it's a swing or, just a quick dump off to the flat, I never think Naji's going to get by the guy. And I shouldn't feel like that from a guy that's that size. Now, granted, I've said this millions of times. He's not Le'Veon. Le'Veon, man, one of the most impressive things about Le'Veon to me was how quick he was on his feet and how shifty he was at that size. Like, just close your eyes for a moment, folks, and think about the juke moves that you've seen or the shake and bake that you would see from Le'Veon. And man, it was something special. I remember being at some of them games, man, and some of the cuts, his vision, And not only just the vision, but to be able to pull it off at his size was impressive. Naji is not that. But I expect Naji to be a 6'1.5", 6'2", whatever he is, 230-pound guy. Come on, man. I really do like Naji. I'm not down and out on Naji. I'm just saying I don't really want to see him in them one-on-ones no more with a quick pass out the backfield. I like to reserve that to Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren got just enough little wiggle to make you miss.
Him and A-Mac.
Yeah, Anthony McFarland as well.
Those two, the difference is that, and this is just, I knew this coming out of Alabama. I never had this issue, had this problem with him. The thing is that Naji is a north-south guy. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the offense, the way the offense is run, it's a lot of sweeps and pitches to Naji. And I don't think Naji's sideline, his east-west speed is the same as his north-south speed. No. So if you have the line blocking and he gets a hole, he hits a hole, he's perfect. He's not a breakaway runner. So for people to even think that just doesn't make any sense. Yep. Because he never showed that since high school. So he's never been that. He's never been that guy. Mm-hmm. So the reason is that your offensive line has to be able to do that stuff. But we'll get into the offensive line because I'm gonna tell you exactly if you watch the game. I have the game on right now, and I'm telling you, when we get in this, I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on in the game. So for me, it's just I've never looked at Naji like that. So my expectation for him was they had to have a great running game and allow him to run north and south. Part of that's play calling, part of that's Naji. But what kills any great run game? I'm just asking the question.
You said what kills any great?
What kills any run game? If you're trying to run the ball, what will kill it?
My first guess would be lack of execution by the offensive line.
That's one. It's also loading the box and putting 10 people in the box in penetration and destroying the whole run game. So if you watched the game yesterday, go back and rewatch it. If you watch the game, Cleveland was in the backfield the whole time. It wasn't like it was two plays. They were there the whole time. When they tried to run plays, they tried to counter. They were in the backfield. Mason got beat. Mason Cole got beat. They were getting destroyed up front. Destroyed. And for some reason, people think Cleveland defense is not good. So you blame somebody else. But that defense did it to Cincinnati. So this is the part I don't get. You can't complain if they show you they've done it the week before to Joe Burrow. Since the Bengals couldn't run the ball last week. So
they was daring us to pass too. There was nobody in the middle of the field. Nobody.
They weren't even trying to hide it. That's how George Pickens got the touchdown. That's how he got the touchdown.
Yep.
So when you watch the game and you could critique the game, if you're gonna place blame, you can blame Canada, fire Canada, do whatever you want to, say what you want about Kenny, but you better put some of that stuff on the offensive line, and you better give the Cleveland Browns some respect. If you don't, you rewatch the game. Like I rewatched the game, they were in the backfield all night. It wasn't like it was one play, two plays, three plays. Kenny had no time to throw. The throw didn't got the Pickens. He got hit. Did you watch the play? He got smacked.
Sure did. Yeah, that was the shoulder play.
Yep. So when you watching the game, I'm just asking you, when you watch the game, people get frustrated, but you have to keep the same energy for the whole team. That's all I'm saying. You can be mad at one thing, but you have to keep the same energy for the whole team. And as far as Kenny goes, he's only had 14 starts in the NFL. 14 starts.
That's what I'm saying, guys. And you know what? We might as well get to that stuff now, because if not, I mean, most of that stuff I wrote is really this stuff. So we might as well just dive into it. Here's the thing about Kenny. Like I said last night, for all of you who said or saying he's not the guy, this okay. I will not sit here and debate nobody's opinion. I know we got donations coming in. It's hard for me to see them because I'm bouncing back and forth from Blog Talk. I mean, from StreamYard to OBS. But thank you, let's say, to Jameer Sanders. He sent two. So let me just read your comment real quick and round of applause real quick. He says, Naji don't got AB. I'm going to read it the way you wrote it. So if it sounds crazy, blame him. He says, Naji don't got AB and Big Ben and a good line. Okay. Let's see. Matt Canada don't adjust same jet sweeps and slants. All right, we're gonna get into Matt Canada, but let me get back to Kenny. And again, thank you for your donations. I'm not gonna debate it. Y'all won't catch me debating anybody anymore about their opinion of Kenny Pickett for a couple reasons. The first reason is that's your opinion. I can't change your mind. I don't want to. It's not what I'm here for. I'm not trying to change people's mind. Everybody is free to have their own, own opinion. The only thing that I would challenge, and I would want y'all to challenge me on this as well, don't let your opinion turn into quasi facts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can't do that because none of us know the truth about certain things. What's true about Kenny Pickett, what I've seen in these last 2 weeks, I don't know what has happened to his decision-making, his anticipation, and his accuracy. Some of y'all are going to say, well, what makes you think well, I seen him do it. Go back, even in last preseason, go back to some of them throws. Remember them throws he was making the Fryer move where he was like, yo, remember that one across the middle when he let that joint go way before Fryer moved? What about the throw to George Pickens against the Raiders? What about the throw to Naji, which some people say it was for homeboy Samuel, but
yeah.
Come on, man. I'm just saying. What about them throws he was making this preseason? Like, just take that alone. All of the games. But even if you want to say, I want to see better competition, well, what about what he did against Buffalo? And that's what's puzzling to me is I'm like, what happened? What? It's like he went backwards. Last night, man, like Kenyan said, if you go back and watch some of them plays, that man's accuracy, we saw it on the first drive. Quick pass to Allen Robinson. The very next one is behind him. And then, dog, I understand that the type of coverage that Delpit was playing, they was probably expecting Delpit to run in the seam, but he just, he crept on him. But you're looking that way. So it's, you know what? Y'all know who had a very good assessment of who could probably say it better than I can? Dan Olszewski. If you listen to his segment on the Pat McAfee show, I think it was today, or it might have been yesterday. Perfect what he said. He said from a quarterback standpoint, because I wasn't really paying attention to this. I'll know when I watch the film. He was like, all of Kenny's, a lot of his passes are three step, boom, let the ball go. It's like he already know where he's going. Not reading the field. It's almost like, and Dan said, I don't know if he's being taught that or if it's just him. And he said, we won't seeing him do that last season near the end of the season. We wasn't seeing him do that in preseason. And that's what I've been trying to say to y'all as well. That's why I can still say, look, I'm not ready to throw him out. He got to get it together. Because if he continues down this path, like I said last night, I'm getting concerned. But I think he can be a better quarterback. I'm not saying this dude is a franchise. I don't know what he can grow to be. I just know he can be better than what we're seeing because I've already seen him be better than that. So that is my opinion. So I'm not challenging anybody saying, oh, he's not the guy. Okay, if that's how you feel, all right, fine. Okay. We're all waiting to see. But that's why I'm not ready to throw him out. However, like I said, if Kenny's still playing like this, man, 8 games later. But here's the second reason. First round. They're not going to give up on him. Have Kenny again in year 3, even if he doesn't play that well. What they may do is bring in another quarterback to give him real competition. Might even draft one. But Kenny Pickett will have, in my opinion, 3 years to prove that he's not the first round investment. So that's why I'm saying to y'all that saying he ain't it. So what? This is the guy that we're going to see playing. Oh, here's the last thing I want to say, Kenyan, before I forget. So many of y'all act like y'all are challenging me. I don't understand that. I'm not challenging y'all, but y'all hit me with this. See? So how is he any better than you saying he's better than the other backups? Okay. So I'm going to use your own point against you. So if they're all the same, who you rather see play? Mitch or Mason? I would more than likely say the guy who seems to have a better upside just off of youth alone. If they all on an equal playing field, they all the same, I'm gonna try my hand with the guy I don't know. I'm just saying. So, but again, I'm not challenging y'all. I just don't understand why y'all come at me that way. Like, I'm not in the front office. I'm not invested in Kenny Pickett. I'm invested in the team. And I know that he's the quarterback for the foreseeable future, meaning this season and next. So I gotta hope he plays better. That's my take on it.
I don't have that. I'm different than Sim. You know, he's more. I always say Sim he's a nice guy, but I don't have to be the nice guy because I don't care about none of what you say. So for me, I look at it like this. He's started 14 games. When people say he's not the guy, you don't know what he is yet because he's never really been fleshed out. He's never really gotten protection. If you think about a lot of his throws, they're off platform. So when you're watching the game, he's making off platform throws, which means the offensive line has not protected him well. But the base of this whole conversation comes down to Matt Canada's offense depends on the run being successful. So instead of being in 3rd and 10, instead of being in 3rd and 8, you want to be in 3rd and 4, in 3rd and 3. That's what he wants. So if you cannot run the ball on 1st down, if you cannot run the ball on 2nd down, then that offense will not be successful. And in the preseason, they were blasting off the ball and making plays. It's different now. Team scheme for you. They will load the box and force you to throw. They do it to each quarterback that depends on a running game. The best quarterbacks, if you can't run the ball, you're in trouble. It is what it is. Once they take one thing away, they're going to force you to do something else. Yep. Kenny's not Patrick Mahomes. Kenny's not a top 5 quarterback. But what he is he's a young quarterback with potential that can get better. If Joe Burrow, who looked elite the last 2 years, can look the way he's looked the last 2 weeks, then anybody can look bad. So it's the what you choose to not like, and then you stick to it, as Sim say, and then try to make it like a narrative, a fact that you want to roll with. And then it's like you can't budge you, so why argue with you? Why have a discussion? Because you're gonna feel the same way anyway. If Kenny goes out and throws 5 touchdowns with no interceptions for the next 5 weeks, you'll still say he's not the guy. Because you've already made up your mind.
No, they won't. They're gonna flip flop.
They gonna little finger it. but yeah. So I look at it like I don't know what he is yet. I always give people 3 years, so I don't know what he is. And this is really his 2nd year. And really, if you technically think about it, he hasn't played that much, and things may change. The offensive coordinator may change. The scheme may change. The way that they're trying to do things may change. But the Steelers have not. You can't put the Steelers at fault for trying to make Kenny better in a sense by giving him a good offensive line, the move they made to give him a good offensive line. But you got to execute. That's part of the deal. So you can't bring up other teams. The Steelers have struggled running the ball the last 2 to 3 years. You can use Cleveland as an example. Cleveland identity is to run the ball, and they can run it. It doesn't matter. But even in that case, you can still bother them in certain situations. But Cleveland will stick to run the ball because they've had success because their offensive line has continuity and they play well together. The Steelers aren't there yet, and they may not get there to the middle of the season. And it's part of it could be scheme, could be the way they're calling plays. And if Canada's gone, that will alleviate some of you guys' I guess, complaints. But trust me, you'll complain about something else. It'll be the next thing next week. So to me, I always look at it like, if you don't have a worldwide perspective of something, it's hard to have a discussion because you're already locked in. So, the example I would use, and Sim would know this about me. Me and Sim used to text all the time, and I said, yeah, I'm tired of Bud Dupree. I got to start calling him 48. Remember when I said that? I said, I'm tired of him. But I gave him time. I knew what he was. So I have to give each player a certain amount of time, 2 to 3 years, because the next franchise quarterback that you want or you think you can draft, you can't draft him. You're not getting them. So it is what it is. They spent their capital to get Kenny. So Kenny has flaws, but he's a young guy. He's a young quarterback. older young quarterback, but he's still a young quarterback. So to me, it's the running game. If they can't run the ball, make them one-dimensional, Kenny's still young, they're going to have problems. It is what it is. That's what you get. And throwing remember, the jet sweep is essentially a run. That's what it is. It's another way to run the ball. And to say you're sick of the jet sweep, every team in the NFL runs jet sweeps. Kansas City ran two jet sweeps in the same series. Just saying.
Yeah.
So everybody runs that. The jet sweep has replaced. It's like the new little trick run play that works. And they run it in college. They run it in high school. It went from high school to college, and now it's in the pros. You got to execute. So that part of that is you can be mad at Canada. He can draw up the play, and I agree with you. You can be mad at Canada, but you got to be mad at the offensive line.
Yeah.
Got to be mad at the execution of the offensive line. You just got to be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You got to keep the same energy with all units when they make mistakes. And we ain't even got to the defense yet. Wait till we get to the defense. Because I'm pretty sure that some of y'all think the defense was great. No,
spectacular.
Yeah, just wait. So I'm just saying, when you do it, you have to have perspective. In Cleveland, you have to put some respect on that defense. That defense is nice because they have lockdown corners and they play man predominantly. And they dare you to beat them. And Joe Burrow couldn't do it, and Kenny did it. And it's almost like he had a worse game. It's almost like we're looking at it like it's the worst thing. And Joe Burrow couldn't do it. So, and they're 0-2. And man, look, NFL is a long season, man. We're in the first quarter of it. Sometimes you got to exercise a little bit. You have to have a wide berth, have a wide view of stuff. That's all I'm doing. So I understand people's frustration. But
yeah, clearly understand. And I'm trying to get the camera back, guys. Now I actually have it plugged into the wall. It's funny because the CPU powers it, but for whatever reason, sometimes it won't keep the charge. But I should be back on in a moment. But just to finish up with Kenny, like I said, you don't have to like him. It's just that I don't know why you torture yourselves every week with the same thing. Oh, he's not it. Yeah, but where's he going? Like, y'all be asking for stuff that ain't gonna happen. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to change your mind. But for everybody saying bench Kenny, trade Kenny, what do you think the Steelers are just gonna wake up and do that? Y'all know that ain't gonna happen. Do y'all know this organization? It's not gonna happen like that. It's just not. I mean, now if it does, listen, I will be the first one to come on here and say, man, I'm surprised they did that. Because it's not what they normally do. We're not accustomed to seeing them back away from, you know what? Some of y'all are the same ones that was trying to figure out why we held on to Mason Rudolph so long, who was drafted in the 3rd round while Ben Roethlisberger was the quarterback. So now you're telling me that the Steelers are going to get rid of a 1st-round draft pick, not even halfway through his first season, not even have played a full season as far as cumulative games. Come on, man. Same thing some of y'all said about Landry Jones. Just think about these quarterbacks y'all talking about. These were later round picks, but you're expecting the Steelers to move on from the 1st rounder. Come on, man. Like, that's all I'm saying. Have your critiques about him, but stop coming in the chat. Let me stop. No, I don't want to say that. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I'm saying, why are you wasting your time saying that with your chest? Man, they got to get rid of him. They're not going to do it that soon. So I respect your opinion. I agree with you in saying the kid is struggling. Come on, Kenny. I need to see you, start turning this thing around.
Mm-hmm.
But it might take time. And let me address this too. Some of y'all keep saying, but he's 25. How much time? Now we talking about literal age.
Right.
Y'all know what we're talking about when I say he's still young. I'm talking about his NFL football career.
Right.
Like the semantics sometimes that y'all go through, it cracks me up. And again, I'm not getting on anybody, but again, y'all come to the show to hear what I have to say, so I'm just speaking.
I'm getting on people.
But y'all crazy. I just don't. Oh, and here's the other one that I see, because I see people are talking about the 49ers. Here's the funniest The funniest take. Man, we drafted a first round pick. And look at the 49ers. They got Mr. Irrelevant. And look. Okay. So y'all gonna tell me that the Steelers were the only, I'm using quote fingers, I wish y'all could see me, the only dumb team. This dude was Mr. Irrelevant. Not even the Niners wanted to draft him early. No other team. So just because he's having success, y'all are, that's the highlight watcher mentality.
Yep.
Y'all using that to say, oh, see, they could have waited till the 7th to get it. How practical is it to get a 7th round draft pick? Do y'all not remember that Purdy wasn't going to play if Trey Lance hadn't got hurt?
Yep. Oh, caveat. What did the 49ers do to draft Trey Lance, and where did they draft him at? And what did the GM just say recently? We made a mistake drafting Trey Lance. Where we drafted him, he was supposed to be our franchise quarterback, and he ended up not being it. So if you're going to use Purdy, remember who they drafted before Purdy. The 49ers.
Come on, man.
That's what I'm talking about. You can't do that. You have to. You can't use one person and not use the same. I'm using the same organization who failed with Trey Lance and trading him. That's the point.
There's so many caveats.
Draft picks are a crapshoot. There is no sure thing, surefire. This guy's going to be good. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. It's system. It's ability that somebody may miss, that somebody may covet. All that stuff matters. So the 49ers in their system, let's be honest, they don't really need a franchise quarterback.
Sure don't.
Because it's the system. That system runs smoothly. They just need a quarterback that's efficient and can do the things they need him to do. That's it.
Would Kenny be successful with Kyle Shanahan?
Yes. He'd be killing it.
Interesting.
And that's the point.
Again, is some of y'all the same ones that say Matt Canada gotta go. Okay, well, okay, if he gotta go, then what we talking about? So is it? And again, listen, and I want to get off Kenny because it sounds like we're trying to apologize for Kenny, and we're not. What we are simply saying is, at this stage, I don't know. I really don't know what this kid is going to turn out to be. I don't. I think it's too early for everybody to turn their back on him. Let's see what he got, man. He can only go up. We've seen him play better. So again, last caveat. I am not saying that this is our bona fide 10-year franchise guy. I have no idea. All I'm saying is Kenny Pickett can play better than week 1, week 2 of 2023 because I've seen it with my own eyes.
I agree.
That's it. That's where I'm going to leave it.
Yep. I agree.
Now let's get to Matt Canada. I'm so glad Kenya made the point he made because I wanted to come in here and say almost something similar, but I was going to say it this way. I'm going to explain to you what I don't like about Canada. I don't think that all of his play calls are horrible. Matter of fact, took you long enough, but Matt Canada, it was a perfect time when you called that screen. Oh, my Lord.
Yes.
That might have been these right here.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Perfect. And that's the thing that I get on him about is his timing. Ball got tipped. What you going to do? But here's my beef with Matt Canada. That's one of them. I always say it's not always the play he calls because let's be honest. Most people who watch football, even us probably in real time. That's why me and Kenyan rewatched the game and watched all 22. And in real time, it's easy to say, oh, that was a bad play call because you didn't see what transpired. You might not have saw all the pressure that Cleveland was getting or who they beat on the line. Like you don't see all that on the TV tape in real time because you're in the moment like this. You're watching the game. So I'm not going to say that all of his play calls are bad. This is what I say I don't like about him. I don't like his situational play calling. Absolutely do not. Sometimes I just don't understand why he did that. I don't understand why you run outside runs with Naji Harris. particularly against defenses that got guys who can fly. Najee not beating nobody to the edge unless we pull or something like he's not. That's not his. Kenyan just told y'all that's not his game. Listen. Najee can be a very effective, a solid running back if we get the right blocking in between the tackles. And I'm not saying you can't run a stretch or something like that, but he's not the guy. So when Canada does that, I don't understand it. It's not that I hate the jet sweep. I just hate his timing of when he calls it. And sometimes the alignment that he runs against. And I'm like, bruh, we're not going to fool nobody. These dudes all on the line. They all on the line like this, like 12 of them. It's more than 11.
They trying to eat. They trying to eat. As soon as they see that alignment, they trying to eat.
Come on, man. That's not going to work, Canada. Then that's what I'm saying. And then what was that play on that 3rd and 1? What was that? Did he try to get cute because we seen Deshaun Watson run an option earlier in the game?
Yes.
What? However, I will say this. I'm going to take back what I said a little bit on that play. Let me get the mic a little closer. Pause. I won't mad at that design of the play. I won't really mad at the design of it because Kenny can run. The execution was horrible. If you go back and look at it again, if he hands it off to Naji, it's a first down.
Right.
So in real time, it looked bad. Shout outs to father-in-law Leonard. Leonard texted me, was like, man, what was that play? And I could understand why he said that in real time. But when I thought about it, I said, you know what? That was a little off script for the Steelers. That could have worked. So that's what I'm saying. It's not that I hate every play, but along with his timing, I also just don't like his route combinations, man. We'll see with this film. It might not be that way in this film because of the way the Browns was playing us, but like against the Niners, it's just way too many verticals with no variation. Like it's too many straight verticals or deep comebacks where everybody's running it.
Right.
I felt like we should have ran more mesh concepts last night. We kept going to the slant, which could work, but I mean, Cleveland was sitting on it. And then when we had a step, Kenny was missing.
That's the factor that people not talking about.
Kenny was missing, bro.
So when you miss George Pickens, and he's done it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
When you miss George Pickens on 2 slants where the cornerback goes off coverage, and that's just an easy throw. That's just an easy throw. And you don't make the throw. I mean, as I told Sim in a texting, I said, I don't agree with Troy Aikman on anything, he's a Cowboy. But that when he said that, and I watched back, I said, you're right. You can't miss that throw. And he's missing that throw. So
can't miss it.
That's not a Canada issue. That's the right play call, quarterback not executing.
Yep.
So Sim is correct.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go. You got it.
No, I was gonna say even earlier there was a play just like that because I remember we texted about it where it was the same look. It was earlier in the game, off coverage. It was like a 3rd and 2, and I'm like, that's the slant, and he didn't throw it to that side. He can't, and I'm like, so I don't want it to sound like a contradiction, but sometimes you do have to have a pre-snap read. Ben used to do it all the time. The good quarterbacks come up and they, okay.
Yep.
You know, a little something like, hey, or the little pat on it.
Yep.
He's off coverage. I need a quick slant. Because in football, guys, sometimes it's a quick slant. You don't run 5 yards. No, I need you to go right to it so I can boom, hit you on the pop pass. And I'm like, how do you not go to that? And the weird thing is, if you're a Cleveland fan, why would they laying off in that situation when they are a man press team? Like, you're going to give them the 2 yards. So it's things like that Kenny's not seeing. And it makes me kind of believe what Dan Olszewski was saying, like, oh, man, is this dude, like, for some reason, these first 2 games, is he's programmed to when he hits that back foot, he's just firing no matter what. And then you saw later in the game, he started reading his progressions a little bit. Every time he would go to Pickens, like there was one late in the third or the fourth where Pickens ran like a little, like a mid, like out route.
Yeah.
Back in the middle.
Yeah.
And Kenny
exactly
went through, he stayed, he got patient, boom. So it's not like he can't do it. It's just that I don't know his consistency. He has been inconsistent these first 2 weeks.
And it's also locking into a certain player. One thing Kenny does that I've seen so far is that he'll lock into a certain player and he won't read his progression on the play. Mm-hmm. And you can attribute that to Matt Canada. He might be running 4 verticals, or he won't attack the middle. We know Canada won't attack the middle. But to not involve your tight ends, Pat Frymouth has 2 receptions so far. John Washington has none. To always dump it to the swing pass. Our plays that sustain drives were swing passes where you had to make extra plays. It has to do extra effort to get the first. And that type of stuff right there is stagnant in the offense, especially when Cleveland is dominating your line. And that's another factor that makes you it can make you skittish as a quarterback. As Troy Aikman said in the game, he said, I faced that type of defense where you just get skittish. You just want to dump it off because you don't want to sit in the pocket and do all that crazy stuff, especially when you can't run. So all that is factors into what is going on with the offense right now. And as I said before, yeah, you guys are happy I'm happy, and I agree with you about the Kansas situation. It's cool. But I'm just saying, look at the whole situation. And to be honest, you can't fire everybody. Let's just keep it a buck. You can't. And who are you replacing them with? You know what I mean? Everybody has a plan to get rid of somebody, but doesn't have the solution to add somebody. So name me the quarterback that you're going to draft in 2023, 24. That's better than Kenny. Because I only know one, maybe 2. And you know where they're going to go? 1 and 3.
No, we're going to tank for Shedeur.
Yeah, we tanking for Shedeur. We're going to tank for, Arizona's tanking for Caleb, because that's clearly what they're doing. And we're going to tank for Shedeur. He's the savior. And me and Simmons watching the game, and we were scouting Shedeur then, and we were saying, great quarterback, great accuracy. But you know what he can't do? And Colorado State exposed him. You know what he can't do? Start blitzing him. It's different. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, different quarterback, isn't he? And that's the point. You have to, all that stuff is you don't know who's going to be great. You don't know who's going to be great. I've only seen one person that I've seen that I said, oh, that guy's going to be a problem next in the next level. So other than that, Lamar Jackson is inaccurate. That's holding the Ravens back. He's inaccurate. Joe Burrow is accurate. But if he can't run, you saw it. So you have to let people progress. If we get a new OC, I just want people to have the same energy. When they get a new OC and the offense struggles a little bit, keep the same energy. Say fire that next OC. That's all I'm saying. Just keep the same energy. That's all I want. Because y'all got the answers. I'm just looking at it as a wide situation and seeing what the problem is. But I don't want to get on offense too much. It's time to go to defense because it was cool talking about offense. I'm going to get defense.
Some of these names that y'all throwing out, wow. Oh, and round of applause to all the donations, man. Like I said, I'm doing dual screen, so I'm missing them. Most recent one I saw was Real Facts. He says, we failed to take pressure off of Pickett. Purdy has a great run game, great offensive philosophy, O-line, and all he has to do is get the ball to his playmakers. Against us, how hard did we make it for him? I mean, Brandon Ayuk was literally like this sometimes. Hey, throw it, I'm open. and see, it's funny because people thought I was trying to knock down Brock Purdy. I'm not. I'm just saying I'm seeing solid execution from him.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything that makes me go, wow, this kid is great. And that's not a knock. He looks like a decent quarterback. That's it. Now, maybe as his career progresses, he'll turn into a stud. But I don't see that. I just see a quality system, and dudes most of the time is college open for them. Yep. He makes the throw. And one last thing I will say about Olszewski, I'm just going to make the statement and then we're going to go to defense. Dan Olszewski was correct. It do seem like Kenny, in certain times, he's trying to throw fastballs.
Yes.
What's going on with that, too? Like, I don't know what's going on with him, man.
There's no touch. There's no touch with some of the passes. Some of the passes you got to throw touch. Some of it has to be more accurate. And it's, for me, with Kenny, I agree with what Sim said is exactly right. We saw him make certain plays, so you know he has the ability to do it. It's just a fact of, can you execute? And I just don't understand how people don't understand this. I don't care how great a quick release you have. If there's pressure in your face, you are not going to be accurate. That's the only recourse that the defense has to get to you. Put pressure in your face. Kenny can run, but he ain't no running quarterback. It is what it is. So if once they can't run, and they're basically, defenses are telling the Steelers, you're not going to run the ball. We won't let you establish it. So what's going to happen is Kenny's going to have to beat us. Another thing Kenny has to do is he has to give it to the other receivers. He has to build them up to help that offense. So Calvin Austin needs more chances. GP is a star. We can see it. Pat Farmer needs to get the rock. Darnell Washington needs to get the rock in certain situations. But they have to establish the run. The run is everything to me for them. It's as long as Kansas there, it's the run. So that's how I look at it. And look, it's gonna play out. If Kansas not good enough, he'll be gone this year, and you guys then it'll be all Kenny, I guess. Because once he's gone, you can't blame Kansas anymore. So it'll be all somebody else. So I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at it from a worldwide view. I'm never gonna look at it like from one particular situation.
And that's how they do real facts. It's like I said, I see a lot of y'all going back and forth. Y'all can have that. I'm not gonna try to convince anybody anything. I'm just gonna give my opinions to watch this team, hope the quarterback gets better. And that's it. I mean, I just know how the business works. In the Steelers' eyes, it's still a young professional quarterback trying to figure it out. Everybody is not Patrick Mahomes. Everybody, it's just like Kenyan said, and I didn't even think about that. Who's the next quarterback? If who they go get? They don't grow on trees, man. They just, But we'll see. We'll see what he is going to be or not going to be. And that's when we get there, we get there. Sure. All right, guys, let's talk defense. And I knew this show was probably going to go like this. It's so many calls in the queue. I'm probably not going to be able to answer but a few, if that, if I'm being honest, man, because we already passed an hour. Well, approaching an hour. Let's get the defense real quick. Simple and plain. Hot take, and I don't think it's too hot. This is probably a lukewarm take. Steelers run defense is horrible, man. I acknowledge Cam Hayward isn't out there, but I mean, want me to give y'all a realization? Cam Hayward played against the Niners.
Yep.
Hey, man. Two things that cannot be for the Pittsburgh Steelers going forward. We cannot be saying that they can't run the football and they can't stop the run. Because if that Lotto stud, TJ Watt, doesn't do what he does each and every play, even when he ain't getting a sack, he's causing problems. I might as well go ahead and say it now about him. I'll give him the lotto tag, a little lotto. Alex Highsmith played like a lotto stud last night. If he doesn't do what he did, if the defense doesn't score 2 touchdowns, Steelers don't win that game. Primarily because they gave up. Do y'all realize before Nick Chubb went down, I think he was like 9 for 64 or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. He was about to have a big night. Huge night. Matter of fact, on the play he got hurt on, I think that was about a 13 or 14 yard gain. It was a sizable gain. And Minka, and please, man, I'm already seeing people out there saying Minka dirty for the hit. This is why I try not to look at everything.
Man, that wasn't no dirty.
Come on,
gosh.
Yo, Y'all got to stop. But
About the flag football in a minute.
Nick Chubb was on his way at well over 100 yards, I think. I think he was trying to beat what McCaffrey did. And then you give up a 69-yarder to the next guy. It's bad. And we can't put with the way that defense is looking and the offense is looking, this is not a recipe for winning, man. And we cannot sustain drives. But even, again, when you put the defense out there, they're giving up these explosive runs. I don't like what I'm seeing so far. I like the effort from Cole Holcomb, Quan, and Landon Roberts. Oh, he had a nice stick on the goal line last night. But what's happening? A couple people I didn't mention. I think Leal gonna be one of them dudes, man. If he keeps at it, Leal showed me a couple things. Benton, a little bit. I didn't see him so much last night, but I know he played. But I got to rewatch the game.
Not worried about Benton. He's gonna be all. He's still. Yeah, I'm not even worried about him.
But Leal, I think, got an opportunity, man, especially while Cam is out, to show something. Man, Montravius Adams was playing last night.
Oh my God.
He was getting in the backfield.
Best game I saw Montravius Adams play.
Yeah. And some of y'all are probably saying, why we saying that when he didn't really get no sacks or anything? Because it ain't always about the sack or the TFL. It's like he was dominating his man. He just, every now and then, he couldn't quite get there. We got one heck of a pass rush, man. I think we have a real tandem now. And I'm going to enjoy watching it.
I think we're 4 deep.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Let's not forget Herbig showed up.
I think we're 4 deep.
Golden showed up.
Golden got a sack. I think we're 4 deep.
But here's the problem. And then I'm going to throw it to Kenyan. That ain't going to matter as much if teams are able to run the football. Keep them boys off the field. And I know you can't stop every team. I'm just thinking about the AFC North. We play against teams who can run the football, which the Bengals have kind of gone away from that a little bit. But we already know what the Ravens can do.
Yep.
We know what Cleveland will still be able to do, even without Chubb. And then we going to see Josh Jacobs in Vegas next week. We got to, man, defense, round of applause for what y'all did as a collective, but I'm a little concerned about that run defense early, man. Why our teams always got to start slow? I don't like it. But what you got, man?
I'll make this quick because it's easy for me. The defense on the run game is not gap sound. Now, let me address Marlon Nicholson in the chat, who keeps talking about getting the KC Hampton type nose tackle in today's NFL. He will not make it in today's NFL. He can't play in today's NFL because they run nickel. So he can't play in the nickel defense. He can only be in the base, which is why the Steelers let him go when they let him go back then, because they played a base 3-4, and you can't run that type of nose tackle who just eats up blocks now. Doesn't work because teams spread you out and they run through the gaps. I'm just saying, your nose tackle now has to be versatile. He has to be able to run to the ball, move, be able to be versatile. You can't be a Casey Hampton type. Those guys don't work. Siaki Ika, and Sim knows who I'm talking about, from Baylor, was a Casey Hampton type. He's in the NFL. He doesn't get on the field. You know why? Because he can't play, he can't be multiple. So that nose tackle doesn't work. Benton is the nose tackle that can do that, but he's a rookie. So that's a progression thing with him. Leal had to go through a progression. Benton will go through progression. So I'm not worried about that. So that addresses that. The defense has not been gap sound. I rewatched the game, and Sim will watch all 22, and I know he's going to be texting me about it and sending me stuff because he always does. They were tapping the lineman on the butt to get out the gap, and Cleveland was still running through it. Yep. And Cleveland was still running through it. Look, one thing you have to realize, Cleveland's run offense is great. It's not good. It's elite. They can get through holes, and when you have a running back like that can break tackles, which is the thing that people aren't talking about. How many missed tackles did the Steelers have?
Oh, man.
I'm just asking you guys, how many did they have? They were missing Chubb in the backfield. He was getting an extra 7. They missed Njoku. They just missed tackles. And that's Quan Alexander. That's whoever you want to name. They all missed tackles yesterday. They weren't tackling. It is what it is, and that's why people can run on you. Splash plays happen when you can't run. And look, 29, that's what he is now to me. He has earned the right to be called 29. 29 on the 67-yard run. His responsibility was to be gap sound and wait for the comeback, wait for the cutback if he cut back. He ran with the flow with him, and that's how that run happened. The same way it happened with San Francisco. So if we're going to get place blame, I'm just saying, man, you guys got to watch that. They weren't gap sound. And Minkle gets out of position sometimes because they're moving Minkle around this year, if you notice. They're moving him around. So all this stuff factors into that defense.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but I know why they're doing it because they're trying to. I know what they're doing. So, but I'm just saying, they weren't gap sound. The defense has to be able to stop the run consistently, like Cleveland was doing, and then I think that defense will flourish. But that pass rush is elite, and they're 4 deep. They all can get there, and I think Herbig, as the course of the season goes on, he's gonna start getting off, and it's just gonna make them even better. So that's all I got on the defense for. The thing that frustrated me and the most, and me and Sim texted about, me, Sim and Tony, was just the tackling. The tackling to me was, I don't want to call it atrocious, but it was, man, first 2 weeks, man, a lot to be desired, bro. A lot to be desired. And I can't blame the coach. I can't blame the scheme. I can only blame the player when he missed the tackle. When he missed the tackle, it's on him. Coach ain't out there. So,
man, I love these comments, man. Y'all keep them coming. I wrote it, but I'll say it out loud too, because I saw somebody say sit Wallace and Peterson. And my question simply was, well, if you sit both of them, who's playing on the outside along with JPJ? Who's the other corner? If you sit Peterson and Wallace, who plays the other cornerback? And then if you come up with somebody, then who plays in the nickel? Because the only other corner really is Sullivan. So if he's
not an outside corner.
This is, again, guys, listen, please don't take this as a disrespect. But this is my point when I say some guys, some of you all are just highlight watchers. That's not a negative. That's just saying you kind of have opinions based on result. That's the kind of result bias, right? A guy gives up a touchdown. Oh, he sucks. Sit him down. Deion Sanders gave up touchdowns.
Sure did.
I'm just saying. Oh, yeah. You're correct, sir. You're correct. I was waiting for somebody to say this. Thank you, MT Mooch. But guess what? Desmond King is a slot corner.
Yep.
He's mainly a slot.
He does.
So I don't think anybody is going to say that they would like to see Joy Porter Jr. and Desmond King as our 2 starters on the outside. And I'm not knocking Desmond King, and I think we'll see him on the field at some point. But again, this is why I say these things, to just kind of see where you guys are thinking. And I don't know everything. Trust me, I don't. I'm not claiming to be right either. I'm just kind of going through the roster. The Master of Music says King is basically Sutton.
No, he not.
In the slot. I mean, see, yes, he can play outside, but Desmond King is known for his work inside. Even Tomlin said as much. That's where he makes his bacon.
And that's why he's not Sutton. That's why the analogy doesn't make any sense, because Sutton could play outside and inside. He could do both. He was efficient at doing both. Desmond King is mainly a slot guy. He was a slot guy at Iowa. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, when he was in college, he played a lot of slot, which is why when he came to the NFL, they transitioned him. And actually, his 40 time, they were talking about converting him to safety, if you remember that combine. Just tell me.
And Levi isn't horrible, man. He's
not.
He got to pick it up, but he's not horrible. Let's not forget last year the boy played pretty well, remember? See how fast we get off of these players?
Yep.
I love y'all, man. I do. All right, man. Honestly, I only got time for like 3 calls, man. Sorry, but I honestly probably shouldn't even have opened the phone queue on Steel Table Night, but we're gonna try. Like I said, if you want to guarantee I answer the call, you could drop a super chat along with your area code, and I will do it. Kenyan, real quick, see if you were able to plug in to Blog Talk because I saw you pop in there earlier before the show started, and then you disappeared.
Let me see.
So hopefully you can get in there so you can hear the call. If not, I can kind of relate.
Let me see. Oh, the invite. You sent this in my email, right?
Yeah, I sent it to your email. Unless you want to try calling in, but the phone always. But then it's gonna probably be a delay.
All right, let me see. 1 second. Let's see. Click here.
And right now it looks like the order will be 803, 505, and 651. I may have time for one more call after that. Uh-oh, looks like we got a little bit of action. Let me see if Kenyan pops in. Oh, let me move it. Let me see. Oh, there we go. All right, what you might have to do, because it's going to echo, obviously, because you
right.
You might have to mute it when I talk.
Okay.
All right, but Kenyan is in here, so hopefully he's able to hear it on his side as well. All right, so first call, area code 803. I believe that's Mr. Winningham. What you got for us?
Good evening. I'll try to be very short. I've seen a lot of the same things that we're doing. I've seen the Eagles do about the same thing Sunday, 2 weeks ago against the Patriots. I've seen them do some unconventional things, and how come we're not hitting the tight end more? It seemed like we should have. Fire move should be open. And one thing, I can't hear Kenyan. I can only hear you on Blog Talk, by the way. And this is a question for Kenny, both of y'all, because both of y'all understand more coverage than I do. What did Kenny Pickett recognize so fast on that touchdown pass to George Pickens that he couldn't see it throughout the rest of the game? And the one thing that's hurting is the offensive line, of course, because Naji Harris is not an outside runner. You guys already said that. Don't want to repeat it, but what's the problem? The problem we're having is lack of communications. We look a little discombobulated on that offensive line, especially with Chukwuekorofo. And he is the major disappointment because he has been on that offensive line in that room longer than anybody. And that should not be. At this point in time, we need Broderick Jones on the field, right or left side. But we got to have communications, especially between those two guards in the center, because that is the brain trust of the offensive line. Thank you so much, and have a great night, everyone. Great week, too. Thank you.
Man, appreciate you. We'll be really, really, really brief because, like I said, I can only have time for two more calls. I want to say shout-outs to my man right here, though. I ain't seen you in a while, man. I've been watching you, though. Still City Film Room. What's up, brother? Appreciate you coming by. He has very good content, man, when he posts, so I recommend you guys check him out. But I'll just be brief, and then Kenya can answer as well. Again, without seeing the film, I never try to jump to conclusions. However, clearly it looked like to me that they was in man. They had been in man quite often. And it looks like Pickens was just able to run underneath, get the slant. That's why there was really no one in the middle of the field. Only one guy back there, in which he was running with Calvin Austin. And I think it was Austin who made the block, and Pickens kind of, maneuvered off of him. But that's what it was. I'd have to watch the film to see if it was like a cover zero or if it was cover one. I don't think it was two man because I don't think the other safety was on the other side. So
it wasn't two man.
Yeah, that's all that was.
It wasn't two man. That was I think it was off man. I think that was off man, and then Pickens did the slant. Once he did the slant, Kenny recognized it.
Yep.
And once it was man, because if it wasn't man, then there would have been more people around George Pickens when he caught the ball and actually ran. They would have had more options There was only one guy there. Once Calvin Austin made the block, George Pickens split. Once he split, he was gone. So, yeah, it was off man, and just Kenny recognized it, which is something, yeah, you can do that every time. Kenny has to recognize it. Also, it depends on what read he's seeing. And as Simmons said, sometimes he's not looking through his whole progression. He might just 1, 2, 3, and I'm throwing. And that's a problem also. So, that's something he can learn on. You can build off that. That's something I'm pretty sure he recognizes that. Look, the kid works hard. He stays late. I respect him. So.
Yeah, and I like what my man Still City just said. And listen, guys, this is just not some dude. If you watch his content, you'll understand he looks through coverages and all that kind of stuff. And I like what he said there about Kenny Pickett. If I could scroll back up. Okay, my mouse is acting crazy. But he basically said that, listen, he understands Kenny is struggling, but he hasn't had any help. Matt Canada's not helping him, and we don't have a run game going.
Yep.
And that's what we're saying. Guys, we've seen the boy play better than we've seen in these last 2 weeks. That's the only reason why I'm like, let's just wait and see. Don't know what he's going to be, but I'm just saying, I've seen the guy play better than that. So that's why I'm probably not all the way in the dumps like you guys are in terms of Kenny Pickett yet. TBD. To be determined. We shall see. Because if we get there, I'm going to let y'all know about it. Next up, area code 505. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, Sim? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so of course I'm happy with the win. It was against Cleveland. It was at home. The Browns haven't beaten us in Pittsburgh in a regular season game since 2003 with Tommy Maddox, the year before Ben got drafted. So I'm happy that streak's alive. That's great. But I'm also unhappy with the victory because I'm noticing a pattern here. Okay? So, we'll have these seasons of, Tomlin never had a losing season. And then all of a sudden that just justifies all the incompetence that this organization does. Why didn't we go after Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs? We just can't be competent on both sides of the ball at the same time. This has been going on for years with the offense with Ben, Bell, and Brown, and the defense couldn't get it together, but now it flipped. I'm tired of seeing this team rely on high-end talent to bail them out every time. Why can't we just be disciplined and just play sound football? Without TJ, we get blown out last night. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got, Tim. Thank you very much.
Man, thanks for the call, and we're going to be brief with our response. I'm going to be real short because I want Kenyan to take the bulk of it. But I would just say this. I agree with the fact that the organization is who they are. They are a little stubborn. They kind of run it the way they run it. I don't particularly always like the in-house hiring. They went out and got Pat Meyer, which somebody brought him to the table too. They said, What exactly is he teaching? Might be a good point, because remember last year we struggled. Somebody sent me an email on that, and if you're in the chat, you know who you are. But there was an excellent point he made. Remember last year, even Alex Kazor was saying, listen, he's teaching this different type of blocking scheme with zone blocking and all of that. These guys are having a hard time grasping it. They finally got it going later in the year. So maybe you do have to question him as well. But I will say, I don't disagree with your overarching point of getting better talent in terms of coaching. It's just that it falls back into what we were saying, because they do integrate, they hire within and they don't fire. That's the enemy question right there. Matt Canada, if he doesn't come back, it's going to be because of his contract expiring as opposed to them firing. So that's just my take. What you think, Kenya?
My point is, it's hard for me, because when some people call and and it's all good that you're tired, I'm tired, but you really don't. It's hard for me to answer that question, because I don't know if you really ever experienced the Steelers being bad. It's just hard for me to go along with you, because I've experienced it. It's different for me, because I know when they were bad. I know when they were bad. People talk about Tomlin not having a losing season, but I remember when they had losing seasons under Cowher. I was there. I felt it. I had to live it. So it's different for me. I can't look at it like you look at it. I'm not Steelers fans are spoiled, but I'm not spoiled like that. I don't look at it like that. I look at it like every franchise goes through highs and lows. There'll be times they'll be great, most franchises, but there are basically only 3, 4, or 5 franchises that have won Super Bowls. So you have to really look at it like, I mean, if you're tired, how do Cleveland fans feel? If you're tired, how do Detroit fans feel? You know what I mean? It's like, if you've never experienced winning, then you don't know. So for me, it's just like the hiring is what it is. And I think that the coaches that they hire, it's always a crapshoot. You don't know. For every great offensive coordinator, you can get a bad defensive coordinator. It's not even a high-end talent situation. It's more of a execution situation. And the Eric Bieniemy situation is Eric Bieniemy wasn't really getting any takers. And what Eric Bieniemy is basically running Kansas City's offense. But who created that offense? He didn't create it. He's basically running the same offense. So it's all about, you have to get the right pieces to fit together. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's funny because I remember how people complained about, remember when Keith Butler was talking about leaving?
Yeah.
You remember he's talking about leaving? If they wouldn't get rid of, you know, our Hall of Fame defensive coordinator? And, you know, he got that job, and, you know, I give you some time. I give you until your contract's up. But, you know, Canada has reached that point, just like Keith Butler. And they just probably won't bring him back. And it is what it is. But it's just hard for me because I've experienced actually them losing. So it's weird for me. Like when they go 8-8 and 9, it just doesn't hit me the same way because I know when they were bad under Coward. I know it. I felt it. I remember when they were bad under Noel. I remember it. I was a kid. I remember when they were bad. So, you know, I'm just saying, I can't rock with you. I can't roll on that one because I know when it is when they're really bad. So yeah. I feel your pain, but until you felt like a 2-13 season, until you feel those seasons, I can't.
I'm seeing a lot of people too, man, grasp at straws. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend nobody, but I'm seeing sit Kenny, bring in Mason Rudolph. I'm seeing people saying, man, Josh Dobbs, you see how good he. Come on, man.
I'm going to ask you a question, Sim. Why is Arizona starting Josh Dobbs? I just want you to please tell them why they're starting Josh Dobbs. Just tell them why they're doing it. No,
I ain't going to tell them. They should know. I'm just saying, man, that's highlight watching to this umpteen power. Stop it. Now, I agree with one thing that most of y'all have said. Yes, it is time to see a different. I'll even go as far as say this. Even if it means that the Steelers move on from Tomlin when that time comes. Okay.
Right.
I'm not opposed to it. It is time for maybe something different, even though I like Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin is the reason why we feel this way. Because every year his teams always have a chance.
Competitive.
So which way do you want it? Because here's the thing. They replace him. What if we get, this is extreme, but what if we get like a Chip Kelly? You know, the new hotness, and he comes in the NFL and bomb. I'm just saying.
I'm Lincoln Riley.
You don't know.
That would be the hot name.
Oh,
right?
yeah, of course. Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley. Yeah. It's.
You don't know what you're going to get. Listen, y'all see all this Steelers. I love the Steelers. But the truth is, you just never know what you're going to get. There are teams in the NFL right now that have not won a championship. There's multiple teams that don't go to the playoffs. And it's a reason why I would say, some of y'all will say, oh, that's a bad analogy because he's fairly new. But it's a reason why Detroit, I like them sticking with Dan Campbell. Give him a shot. Don't be one of them teams that they keep rotating coaches. I don't want that. I'm not opposed to the Steelers in a couple years whenever Tomlin's contract is up saying, okay, let's try. I'm not opposed to that. But the same reason why y'all mad is because of Mike Tomlin.
And because of Bill Cowher. And because of Chuck Noll. I mean, I hate to make it plain for you, but that's the reason why you're upset. Yeah. Because Chuck Noll won 4 Super Bowls, Bill Cowher won a Super Bowl, Mike Tomlin won a Super Bowl. They all we had 3 coaches in Steelers franchise history.
So
I mean, one thing to remember, constant change. You keep trying to change parts, like it's a video game and constantly change, you'll never win.
it don't work, bro.
It don't work. It does not work. Sorry.
And one last thing I would say about Tomlin, then we'll get one more phone call, and then I got to get out of here. It was one time said that Canada, no, not Canada, Butler, somebody said Tomlin calls the defense, and we all know Tomlin has his hands all over the defense.
Yep.
But I need to call him and Terrell Austin to the table. Come on, man. Like, listen, it's hard to say any critique when you see how well they quote unquote played last night, but there's still areas of the things that we do that I don't necessarily like. And I know you got to pick your poison because you can't just do the same thing every play.
Right.
When man works, it works. When zone works, it works. So you can't be, sometimes we are, creatures of habit. We'll say, man, stop doing it. But they can't run man every play.
Nah.
Because people like Pat Mahomes will figure out how to beat that. You have to switch it up. I just would like our Steelers defensive mindset, DC and head coach. Can we stop always sitting back in that soft coverage can we stop doing that on these down and distance plays, like to where everybody know you doing it? Come on, man, please.
Because you're giving them 5. You're giving them 5 automatically.
Yes,
I mean, the hitch is just there. But I'll say this. Tragan made a point yesterday. He said the reason why they do that, they want to keep everything in front of them. I understand that. I get that. I can't really, it's hard. Because you play man against some receivers and you try to man up. And let's be honest. The Steelers really only have one true man cornerback.
That is a fact.
And he's a rookie.
That's a big piece because Patrick. Remember when Patrick Peterson came, even he was saying, "I may not be the man guy and have his that." Oh man, Kenyan, I'm glad you said that because I wanted to say it last night and I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Considering who's on the squad, that might be a reason why we're seeing a lot of zone. I just would like for them to condense it a little bit, man.
I agree with that.
We off the ball like 14 yards. Like, what are we doing? That's all.
But those 2 quarterbacks aren't man guys, and JPJ is. And I'll just say this, and I don't like to use ifs and stuff. If Corey Trice doesn't get hurt,
oh yeah,
you might been seeing JPJ and Corey Trice. That might be your future, 2 lockdown man guys, and then and that's what they want to do to be more physical. Because remember, the assistant GM is from Philadelphia. They love to play man, and that's how they want to remake that defense. So if they're going to do that, I think they have to live with what's going on now. And sometimes you do have to play cover 2 zone. The problem is everybody knows cover 2, and they will attack cover 2, but every team runs cover 2. So it is what it is. It's just it's the players you have and execution. And I just think JPJ is the only man guy they got legit. And, Pat P and 29. One thing about them is, and Sim said this yesterday, the combat catches. Like we're starting to count them where receivers are getting combat catches on. And they were in coverage. They were in the right spot. It's just getting beat for the ball. But, it's...
Yeah. Got to make some of those plays.
Sometimes you got to have patience, and that's all I'm trying to do.
All right, man. I think we got to take one more call, and then I got to run. I got to help my wife out with some stuff. I won't even be able to chat with my man after the show, but I did want to read this comment. Still City, appreciate you coming through. He says, man, with how critical y'all are being of Kenny, y'all would have gave no shot to Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, etc. Do y'all remember the year when Jalen Hurts kind of was like accuracy? Listen, again, still he's saying it
Steel
for me.
City. Salute Steel City.
Yes.
Salute to you, Steel City. Give him a round of applause. That's what I'm talking about. Because Josh Allen was not good. Don't forget that, though.
And we're not saying, again, I hate to sound like a broken record. I'm not saying that Kenny Pickett is going to be anything close to those guys.
Nope.
He could. Who knows? We're just merely talking about the amount of time that you all as fans are giving a quarterback. That's all. Because it's funny that y'all keep talking Mason And y'all did the same thing to him. And it's funny how I was like, let's just see. And he turned out to be, I'm giving Kenny the same grace. He hasn't played 17 games of football yet. Like, man, that's all I'm saying. I'm going to give him more time. It's okay if y'all don't want to wait, fine. But that's all I'm saying. I'm not campaigning for him. I'm just saying, well, let's just see. He might turn it around. All right, last call of the night. Area code 651. What you got for us?
What's up with the Sim?
What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. I agree with you guys about Kenny. It's a collaborative effort of why he's not looking that good this year. From the offensive line hadn't gelled yet. They're all learning. I mean, we switched that thing up pretty good. So they need time to get better. He has to have time to trust him and learn that, all right, I can trust this man got my back over here. Right now, I don't even know him. You know, so it's like you got that situation. But then on top of that, Canada's not helping him out at all. He's not comfortable, and Canada throws nothing with no kind of rhythm in his play calling. It's like he just throws stuff like ingredients in a pot and says, I'm just going to cook whatever it tastes like, Let's just do it. And, you know, that's the same thing with Naji. He's getting run into a wall like Larry Johnson did going toward the end of his career. Hearn ran that man to 8, 9-man boxes all day. It was terrible. Like, he just ran him into a wall, and it's being that way with Naji. Naji got some shake to him, but he got to get into a rhythm. He get a good run here, good run there. You start seeing him do some things, man, that you didn't think a guy that big could do. But he has to work in there, too. And Canada is our major issue. He's not the only issue, but he definitely is. At this point, I'm willing to say, I wish we'd have picked up Leftwich as a consultant or whatever, because I just like where his mindset is as a quarterback, how tough he was, mentally tough, the things that he did. I'm not saying he's going to be a great play caller. I think you give him Canada's book, he can pick some things out in a better succession than the way he's doing it. Like, Canada has a good playbook. He just don't know. He got terrible situational play calling.
Yes.
He calls stuff at the worst time. You know, he used a screwdriver for a hammer. Like what do you know? It's just bad, man. But and I'm gonna say this, man. I don't mean no disrespect. I think Ghana a little delayed, man. Something we can do a blooper reel of him just being in the Steelers uniform now. I thought he was actually running to catch the ball with 1 foot out and 1 foot in to get it at the 45. You know that play that little cheat code, I guess you could say. I thought he was going to do that. And then he stopped like he was catching the ball to stay in bounds. I'm like, what? Like, what?
Duh.
It's crazy, man. But I think if we can get Canada locked in, which I don't know if that's going to ever happen, I think we can get Kenny back. He just needs a little time. And he started talking his helmet a little bit. And we all know how that is when you play football. When you get in your head and you're in that helmet and you're like talking to yourself like, I can't get this right. I think he can get out of there, but Canada got to help him, man. He got to just look at the 2-minute, like when we do the 2-minute drills, look how smooth the offense looks then. Because Kenny believes, like, this next play I'm gonna call and set up, I know this could work. I believe this. But when Canada's calling, you hear his voice and you hear that same play, oh, here we go with this again. You know, I just don't think Canada can do it, man. But that's all I got.
Man, definitely appreciate the call. You know, I don't even have nothing to say to it. I fully agree that you just got to give it a little more time and wait and see, man. I mean, that's all we could really do at this point. I did want to comment. I'm going to give my comment about Gunner because I needed to do that before we got off the show tonight. I'm done with him, man. I told Kenyan this. There was something he did last year, and I was like, I think the fumbles. I think he had 2 fumbles on the kickoff.
Yeah.
But last night, listen, I like to use that analogy that most of you guys, and I don't, you know, whatever your preference is, it's fine. I'm just giving my example. And a lot of you guys understand too. Y'all remember when y'all was out there, some of y'all might still be dating and such. And there was always a thing that Shorty did, and you just was like, I can't get past that. I don't care how fine she is. That one thing, that's what Gunner did for me last night. Bruh, not only did you, first of all, your first mistake was chasing it to the sideline. chasing him. Because most people would say, this might go out of bounds. I'm going to get close to it, but let me just see. But I wish y'all could see me on camera. I'm literally running with my arms here. You booking it. You booking it over there. And then you stop and toe tap. The ball is going to go out of bounds. Your offense, sir, that you actually didn't get any burn last night. That offense had poor field position. If you let that ball go out of bounds, they'll get it at the 40. What are you doing? And got cute with it. Toe tap. Toe drag swag. You got to go, bro. I am done I'm done with him. I'm not even gonna call him his 89. He is 89 from now on. From here on out. I'm done with him. I don't want to see him ever again.
He's earned the credit, huh?
Oh my God. That was the stupidest thing I ever seen.
Oh God.
And maybe it was worse because of the magnitude of the fact that the offense isn't moving the ball. It's just, Lord have mercy. I wish I could be in that. Yeah, man. I wish I could be in that film study. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, Gunner is. I don't know. Gunner is. I mean, I don't really have it. I didn't really expect Gunner to be on the team, so it's hard for me to. I can't criticize him like that, because I didn't expect anything from him. But
he got
those plays are that, especially that's when you do. That's what you do. Like that's what that's why they brought you there. And to make that mistake, that blunder, and compounded with the, I mean, you got clock, and they got the fumble, but and Kenny threw you into that hit. So I mean, if anybody should be mad, it'd probably be Kenny, because like they threw him into that hit. You knew he was gonna get popped, and he got lit up. So, but it was, and we talked about Canada. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, and it is what it is. So, and that's all I got on that. I mean, but he's right. The caller is correct. It's tough right now. It's tough right now, man. It's tough.
Rashawn, the tapping gun. That's good. Yo, he got to go, bro. You have got to go. That's what he was doing. I mean, booking it over there.
It was. But I told you, I saw that. Yeah. I
can't coach. Listen, they be trying to get me to coach. My little man said he gonna play a little football next year, playing basketball this year again, but I can't. One reason why I don't think I could coach is because I need a certain age group, because I be expecting too much out of them.
Right.
I can't do 10. Nah. But that's another reason why I can't. Because when you do something like that, I'm like,
yeah,
go sit down.
Yeah,
like you done. There's no explanation for that, for what Gunner did. 89. I have not. And like Kenya said, that's what he do. This has been your path to the NFL. We all make mistakes. I get it. But I just would preferred him to have been like, oh man, bad. Our offense ain't moving. Ooh, I hope this thing go out of bounds. I'm gonna get close over there, so in case it drop, I can get to it.
Yeah.
But boy, was fielding the punt. He must have forgot. Like 651 said, he was a little slow. He might have forgot what he was doing. He might have thought it was a punt. His mind might have just went to, wait, this is a punt.
You can't be saying that, man.
I know, my bad. YouTube, don't damn me for that.
Can't be saying that.
I just said slow. I didn't say the actual word. I just said,
Oh my God. I mean, just can't do that.
It's fool. And it's funny because you all saw it coming. I was like, yo, is he gonna try to? Oh, that ball is going out. Oh, he caught it. Like, I know everybody's mind was doing it. Oh, this joint might go out of bounds. What's he doing? Is he trying to catch it? Why is he? He caught it, and then he saved it. Toe tap, like.
Oh my God.
That was what my brain did in those 10 seconds. Like, what?
Oh my God.
Oh, God. Oh,
man, that's crazy. No, that's crazy. That's
that was bad.
Thing. That was bad. I can't lie. That was bad.
89. I'm sorry. Goodbye. But all right, guys, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna say goodbye, even to my brother here. Usually we chop it up after the show, man. But I gotta. Oh, he probably not listening. Well, he knows. But we gotta do some stuff, man, for my son's birthday party coming up on Saturday. She has to go to Boston tomorrow for her company offsite, so I got to shake. Hold on. Nobe says, and round of applause to all the donations. He says,
Oh, yeah.
what about the interception they called when 89 got hit? He didn't make a football move, and that confused me. And Levi dropping the E. Oh, man. Did he drop it? Levi.
I was trying to give him a pass on that, but
He was doing the same thing.
yeah,
He was getting there. Right through his hands. And yeah, why did the ref, everybody make mistakes. I don't know why they called that Gunner thing an interception. It was a fumble. You know, he probably just used the wrong word. But yeah, I didn't think that was a football move. Maybe. It was close, but I thought that was more bang bang because he kind of, the second step was him turning around. I don't think he tucked it.
Yeah.
But, real quick. Good challenge by Tomlin.
Yeah.
Not so much the second one.
He had to even it out.
But y'all know I get on him about challenges. Good challenge early, but that second one, I do like what I heard him say today, though. Is he said initially when they saw it on the board, they weren't sure that it was a clean catch. So essentially he thought the third step was the second step, which was out of bounds. Okay, hearing that explanation, because he did kind of catch it kind of like this, and it rolled, but he never lost it. So I can agree with why they did that. But somebody said that wasn't a catch. Okay. Oh, y'all probably talking about 89.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, man. I got to roll. Good brother. I will talk to you, I'm sure, via text.
Hey man, look, man. I'm gonna say this. Look, man. Let's do the connect thing on the console. I forgot about it.
We got to do that.
Just text me.
I'll be on at least. I'm sure I'll be on tomorrow. At some point.
Just text me. If you text me, right? You text me. I'll just
Yeah. We'll do.
I don't want no friend. I only want one friend.
Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, and actually, if you get on before me, it's the same name. So even if you search it, and then
but when I searched it, it didn't come up. That's my point. It has to be because you're not online. That's why we can't connect. So when you're offline, like I'm off, I can't find you. You can't find me.
All right.
That's why we both have to be. That's what I'm saying.
I'll be on tomorrow.
That's the only reason. That's the point. Yeah.
I'll be on tomorrow at some point. So yeah, we'll make that happen.
Yep.
But all right, folks, we gonna get out of here. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't already, man, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. I saw it was a big crowd at one point tonight. It was like 200 people live watching. So I appreciate the viewership and all the donations. And yeah, man, hang in there, man. We got a lot more of these games. Let's see what we do come next week. I'll be back to you guys. Birthday is Saturday. We'll try to squeeze out, if I got time, a pregame maybe Friday. And ironically, we got to go to the office Friday instead of tomorrow. So I'm going to get home later in the day because we implementing this new thing, so we got to test it. But I'll try to. I definitely ain't doing it Saturday because birthday party and all of that. But if I don't do it, whatever. Y'all know what we got to do to win that game. Stop the run.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll try to get something out at some point on Friday night. But all right, man. Thanks for tuning in. God bless. Good night. Stay safe. And like always, appreciate you guys tuning in to Terrible Towel Tuesday special edition Steel Table Discussion. Catch y'all later. Peace.